Anomalies on the rise, and that's a huge fact. Not only got the first limited anomaly unit, we also got the very first Anomaly Supportive Unit. Not to mention that Burnius is also coming in the next patch, which expands even more the total anomaly units we have in the game. But while waiting for Burnius, let's take a look into Seth and how he can enhance your anomaly units. Seth is the second defense unit in the game, and just like Ben, he gets energy regeneration and the usual attack when leveling up his core skill. However, unlike Ben, Seth's shield skill with his initial attack instead of defense. Pairing this with Seth's really interesting skill multiplier values, Seth can actually deal a decent amount of damage on the enemy. Not to mention all the anomaly proficiency and build up he can provide to himself and other units. Seth's daze values are also really interesting, and unlike Ben, which requires you to parry the enemy attack using your X special, Seth can actually focus on just using defensive assists and swap back to your main DPS. Seth can trigger quick assists, but unlike the regular quick assist which makes the next character enter the field, Seth makes the character before him to enter the field. Hitting the enemy with the last hit of your enhanced basic attack or starting an assist follow-up will trigger the quick assist, and this lets Seth gives a shield for them. If this skill happens to trigger a chain attack, doing the chain attack will also shield the next unit to enter the field. Chain attacks by itself won't shield any unit. The shield is tied to those two specific skills, your enhanced basic attack and assist follow-up. Seth is only able to shield himself when using his X special attack, which has a really high energy cost and can be charged for some huge damage. His additional ability is a busted version of Freedom Blues, which reduces the enemy build-up resistance for all elements for 20 seconds once you hit them using your chain attack or your enhanced basic attack. Now enough explanation of the core mechanics, and let's focus a little bit on the bad side. Seth suffers from similar issues as Soukaku. If you ever played Soukaku, then you know how bad her field time is, especially when doing her chain attack. Seth's chain attack takes close to 3 seconds on the field, and despite building up a decent amount of anomaly on the enemy, I don't think you need it. Charging his X special takes up to 2 seconds, and the whole X special animation also takes 2 seconds from you. Luckily for us, Seth can bypass these issues, and unlike Soukaku, it doesn't require a lot of change in your rotation. As I pointed out, Seth can trigger quick assist as soon as you start your follow-up attack. It has a really long animation, so most players will simply use quick assist as soon as prompted. However, the quick assist trigger stays on the screen for quite a long time, long enough for you to tap your X special and still trigger quick assist. This lets you shield the unit you want, while also doing a decent amount of daze, damage and build up on the enemy. It also works with your enhanced basic attack. As long as you have enough resolve, you can simply hold down your basic attack button while doing the follow-up animation. This lets you benefit from Seth's additional ability without the need to use his chain attack. Remember that it lasts for 20 seconds, so there's plenty of room for you to build resolve again and use the same combo on the enemy. You can also use his enhanced basic attack to trigger chain attacks. This way you can get both the shield and next unit to enter the field and also the additional ability. Of course, if the 3 seconds from Seth's chain attack isn't a problem for you, then feel free to use it, since you can also use it to trigger swing jazz effects, for example. But overall, I find a huge DPS loss for you when you can easily trigger it using your enhanced basic attack. It's faster, it triggers a quick assist, and you can also use Attack Explainer to lower your main DPS downtime. For skill upgrade priority, focus on leveling up his core at least up to C. From there onward, you get less anomaly proficiency per level, so the cost can increase quite a lot. Then for skills, just focus on your assist, followed by basic attack with your X special. Dashes and chain attacks can be ignored since you won't be using them at all. Now for build, Seth is super flexible when it comes to building. Most people are going to recommend Swing Jazz, Freedom Blues or Shockstar Disco 4-piece effects, but I don't like any of these options. Swing Jazz requires chain attacks or ultimate, and as I pointed out, losing 3 seconds on the stun window is something I don't recommend. Shockstar increases daze, however, you hardly use any of the skills, meaning that you won't benefit from Shockstar 4-piece that much. Freedom Blues only works for Shock, and Seth already has a better Freedom Blues on his kit. Besides that, his X special costs 80 energy. If you're going for a mono electro team, then Thunder Metal 4-piece is a viable option. However, for general use and Jane teams, I highly recommend you to pick and match between these 4 2-piece effects: Hormone Punk, Shockstar Disco, Freedom Blues, and Thunder Metal. Just go for the one with the best stats. Now for main stats, Disc 4 is going to be either Anomaly Proficiency or Attack. The damage difference is minimal, so just go for the one with best substats. Disc 5 is either Elemental Damage or Attack. Damage is the best one for DPS, but Attack can be easier to find and also increases your total shield. Disc 6 is either Attack or Impact depending on what you want. I personally like to go for Impact because this makes it even easier to play without a stunner on my team, but the choice is up to you. And for substats, look for Attack Ratio, Anomaly Proficiency, Flat Attack, Penetration, Crit Damage, and lastly, Crit Rate. Crit rolls are mostly for his Mindscape 6, but in any case, it's still damage. For weapons, well, we don't have that many options since there's only 2 defenders in the game. Seth's signature is the best option for damage since it allows you to get easier chocks on the enemy, but for increased days and faster stuns, using Original Transmorpher is the best option. Doing defensive assists count as being attacked, so you can easily get up to 16% combat impact for Seth. However, if you don't own or don't want to craft extra Original Transmorphers, then going for a standard weapon with impact as a secondary stat is going to be the best option. I know it sounds crazy, but at least you don't need to worry about getting extra copies for increased efficiency. Now, just to finish, we're going to take a look on his Mindscapes. His first Mindscapes increase your buff at time quite a lot, and since at the end of the day Seth is still a supportive unit, this is a quite good Mindscape. Mindscape 2 increases Seth damage output a little bit since it increases how much shock you're applying to the enemy. It's not a huge increase since overall you won't be triggering a lot of shocks using Seth only. Mindscape 4 increases his daze potential by a fair amount since he'll be using a lot of defensive assists. And finally, the last Mindscape increases Seth's damage potential by a huge amount, to the point where it's a great idea for you to run crit damage on your disc number 4 and also look for extra crit rolls in your sub stats. That's a lot of investment, and of course Seth won't work as a sustained DPS, but that's just a fun idea for you. And that's everything to talk about Seth. When building your team, just remember that his quick assist works for the unit before him, so you need to place your units on the right place. Otherwise, you won't be able to buff your Anomaly DPS. One thing that makes me quite sad is how limited his shield potential is. Ben at least gives buff for the whole squad, but Seth only looks for a single unit in your team. Despite that, he's quite good, and at least fills the Anomaly niche for now. If you like this video, remember to give it a like and consider subscribing as well. As always, thanks for watching, have a beautiful day, and I'll see you in my next video.